Hello and welcome to Family Jewels, a podcast about people's families. I'm Olga Koch.
And I am Charlie Dinkin.
Today we are joined by a very special guest. It's the one and only Rosie Holt.
Hey. Hi, Rosie.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming on to our podcast.
Great, really excited.
How are you feeling? Have you been busy?
Yes, I have been busy, but this morning I did nothing. It was so great.
That's good.
I had a really lazy morning.
I feel you probably have earned that.
Yeah.
You did a Soho Theatre show?
Yeah, I did a Soho Theatre
You famously
show.
crossed the floor.
Crossed the floor.
People
She's
keep telling
labour
me
now.
about it. People are like, do you know that Rosie Holt is labour now? And I was like, I'm aware. I'm aware. How are you feeling about this change in your character?
Well, I don't know, because it's hard to know what Labour are going to do. So, I mean, I had a very nice weekend where I was at 2 festivals and I improv'd slightly in character. And she was actually really happy because I feel like she now doesn't know what she's supposed to believe in. And there's a sort of peace in that. So
Which is
she's
ultimately
just telling people about how Labour she is and how if you cut her, she bleeds Labour. And that was it.
But that's the most politician thing she could possibly do.
Yeah, completely.
Is stand for nothing.
Yeah.
As long as it gives
Does
her power.
your MP have a name or is it Rosie Holt?
Sadly, it's my name. I didn't want it
Oh,
to be
no.
my name. But what happened was when I started posting videos, I'd always put like MP says this. But because people thought it was real and thought it was me, they'd go, shame on you, Rosie Holt, and stand down, Rosie Holt. So it kind so now
So
change
now you have
her
to
name.
change your real name.
Yeah,
for your
so
real life.
That is
For
what I'm going to have to do. So I'm going to call myself Deborah.
Deborah, well, Deborah, it's lovely to have you here
no laughing.
today.
No,
we're not talking
pleasure.
politics because we don't know anything about it. We instead, on this podcast, we talk about your family.
how did
I love
your
talking
family
about my
vote?
family.
Let's go through.
I think my family voted a mix of Lib Dem and Green. I've got quite a big family, so I've got 3 brothers and 1 sister and 2
Oh,
parents.
wow. Where do you...
I am the second youngest.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what are the gaps?
So my younger brother is...
We're in. Do you see how in we are?
We're doing it. Family jewels, baby. You're going from bottom to top?
Should I do it that
Me
way?
in college.
Should I?
You can do it whichever way you like.
I'll,
Is Charlie the youngest?
Charlie's the youngest.
Okay, Charlie. I've not met the rest, but I feel Charlie is the best one.
Well, Charlie, me and Charlie are very close in age. So I'm going to take this because it keeps rattling. It's
Fine, that's very good audio of you.
And thank you. That we're like a year and a half in age, so we always kind of hung out a lot. Our unit. And then there's a 7-year gap, and then there's my sister who's great, who's called Sarah, and then the twins who are the oldest, and Ben and James, and they are 9 years older than me.
Are you from like a Catholic family? What's going
No,
on?
So my mum really wanted kids. She really wanted kids. She had the twins, and then they had Sarah, and my dad went, no, we're not having any more kids. There's too many kids. And she
One girl on top of 2 boys.
yeah,
he was like, I'm out.
He was like, I'm out.
I'm done. Complete.
I mean,
No
3 is a
more.
lot.
Yeah. So then for basically 7 years, my mum campaigned for more kids.
Oh.
And then finally he went, okay, she went, I'll do all the work. I'll do all the work. You don't have to do anything. Which, to be honest, I think she was doing all the work for the older 3 as well. So, like, so stupid. And so he said, fine. And then they had unprotected sex. And then apparently my dad said the next day, actually, I've thought about it and I think it would be a really bad idea. But it was too late.
Just one
I was
time?
on my own.
Just
All
one
it takes is
time.
one time.
way.
All it takes is one time.
I was on my way. And then they had Charlie because they had this weird idea that you mustn't have like an only child. And even though I wasn't an only child, because there was like, I was considerably younger than the others. So when I was little, I always used to say to Charlie, you're only here to keep me company.
So you're only here so I'm not a precocious freak.
Yeah.
What's your relationship with your older siblings like?
Good. I mean, very good. I'm lucky we all get on very well. But certainly, certainly Charlie's like a friend who I see all the time.
Right.
my older brothers are also friends. I just see them.
Friends who you see occasionally.
Yeah.
Friends who you text constantly
Friends
to
with
plan a
kids.
coffee with.
Yeah.
How old are your nieces and nephews?
So I have 6. The oldest, Arlo,
You truly are an aunt. You know what I mean?
Arlo is Arlo's 16.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't know a full teenager?
Or is he 15 or 16? Oh, it's really bad. I
Wow.
should know that. He'll be really cross. He'll be like, I can't believe
That's
you get my name
terrible.
right.
Will you ever message him and just be like, what does this word mean?
Sometimes.
P.S. How old are you? Every time we now need to impress any adult older than us in a business setting,
Yes.
Gen X up.
Gen X up, what we do is we say, we spoke to a Gen Z and they told us this was bad. Like, we just like pin it all on them. They're like, it had no riz. You know what I mean? And then, because Gen X are so obsessed with Gen Z finding them cool.
Oh, yeah.
Do you not
Well,
think?
because Gen X are the parents
Yeah.
of Gen Z, so it's the I'm a cool mom. I'm not a regular mom.
What are the little ones called? The little kids.
Generation Alpha. We're starting over.
Oh, that's Gen A?
Yeah. Because Z is the last letter of the alphabet.
Is
baby.
it? Stop it! I'm learning things.
We're starting
Gen
over.
A.
Z to A.
Yeah,
And then
don't
it'll be
worry
Gen
about it.
B.
Yeah, it's bad. That
Oh
doesn't
my
sound
God.
good, does it?
But then, what I don't understand, but then you had like the boomers, what were the baby boomers? And the millennials. What? But I'm millennial.
We're
Why?
technically Gen Y. Millennials are Gen Y.
Right.
Millennials are.
Millennials are technically Gen Y because X, Y, Z. So
Oh,
Gen
that's
X
so-
and Gen Z, but it's millennials are just called that because millennium is more interesting than Y.
Oh, right.
We just
Get
happen to have a
better one.
different thing happen in our
But
sort
they
of
haven't
lifetime.
bothered with Z and A. They're like, fuck
Yeah.
you guys.
Millennials like became
9/11
teenagers
babies.
on 9/11, or they were born. No, they weren't born.
No. They were born. Millennials started in the 80s and ended in the 90s.
He's 16. Sorry, I just like to say that.
Yeah,
Just come back to
that's
me. He
good.
is 16.
That's good. 16 is
I think still
Next,
Z.
I took him out for his 16th birthday.
Fairly sure that's still Z.
Where did you go?
We went to I took him to like a bookshop, and then we had I took him for like brunch, and then we had like a bubble tea.
That's
we
nice.
did a day of all sorts of things.
That's so
It's
good.
a really great.
I know you've got to do that 5 more times
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
minimum.
It's just begun. It's just begun.
That's a bit much.
And they're going to start asking like for fake IDs to buy them alcohol.
Oh my God.
To say, can you tell mom that I'm at yours? While
They can't
I'm...
pretend to be you, though. You know what I
No.
mean? When I wanted a fake ID, someone gave me their real ID.
Yeah, that's what I do.
But you're not going to
but
be
they can't
able
come
to.
out. I'm
It can't be
Rosie
I'm
Holt.
Rosie Holt MP. I know I look
At the slug and
17,
lettuce.
but I'm Labour now, I promise. Do you know, if you
I
hadn't
want them
been
to
so
do that.
successful, you could have done that because you're so youthful looking.
Thank you so much for saying that. I've got quite a wrinkly forehead though.
You don't. A 17-year-old could pretend to be you.
Thank you so much.
I genuinely feel that, and I'm
That's
looking at
really
you up
kind.
close.
Thanks. Thanks, Charlie.
You're welcome. It's all compliments here. Tell us about I mentioned your parents. Do you know where your parents met?
My parents met when they were 19 at university, Exeter University.
Okay, what were they studying?
He was studying classics, and my mum was studying English.
Okay.
And they're really funny because they always talk about like their long life. They're like, mum's like, when I had this boyfriend, and dad's like, girlfriend. And I'm like, you've been together since you were 19.
Yeah.
Oh, they're just trying to prove they had other.
I think they did. To be fair on them, I think they did fit in a lot of boyfriends and girlfriends prior to going
Were they
out.
hot? Were they
And
hot?
then I think also when they were going out, there was also a bit of I said to my dad once, yeah, they were hot.
Okay,
They were.
thank you.
They were.
Thank
Sorry,
you.
yeah.
I was waiting for the answer.
Yeah,
gotta
they
know.
were. So I remember my dad once telling, we were at the party, and my uncle William was telling me about how he said, oh, me and your father, we went to this house because your dad fancied the woman. So and I went, hang on, that would have been when he and mum were like together. And so I told dad this, and my dad went, oh, darling, you have to understand, your mum was very difficult in those days. And then I told this to my mum, and my mum went, that's so unfair. That's so unfair. I would have cheated on your father if they let me. But William and Ben, they'd always come and they'd get in the way whenever some man was after me.
They cock block her.
They cock blocked.
They cock block her from cheating.
Cock blocked my mum because what happened? Like they've got my mum.
What is love if not cock blocking your spouse from going out with other people?
Well, they're still friends with.
Wait, was him and his brother were extra?
No, basically it was his best friend William, who was also friends with my mum. That's kind of how they met. But then his best friend William then married my dad's sister, so it was my uncle.
Oh,
Does that make sense?
Okay, yeah.
Wait, that's so cute.
That's the way to keep it in the
Became
family.
an uncle?
And then they had this other friend at uni called Jono, and his brother Marco married my my other aunt. So
you're trapping all these friends
yeah.
as family.
So as a result, my parents are still really good friends with all of their uni lot because they're all kind of intermingled with family.
Incestuous.
That's genius.
Yeah.
I think that's.
Do you know what? That's
idea.
almost as deranged. Actually, this is more deranged. That my dad had this girlfriend at university, and he also had a group of 4. He was in like 4 male friends, 3 male friends, and him were the core 4. And so he had this girlfriend, Sally. Then they broke up. Immediately after university, Sally went out with another one of the friends. Immediately after that, she married another one of the friends.
No.
They got divorced.
Oh my God,
she
Sally.
married the 4
Yes!
friends.
She collected them
Yes,
all.
Sally.
Got it. Catch
Fair
you
enough.
all.
Really good. Did they all stay friends with each other when all of this was going on?
I actually think all of them stayed okay friends for a long time. I don't know that they're all close now, but all I'll say is my mum and dad are in touch with her and her current husband. But also, the funny thing about meeting, look, this is mean, I'm going to say it anyway, meeting this woman as an adult, she seems fine. You know what I mean? She's absolutely fine. But
At
sometimes
what point are you dating her as FOMO?
well, but even...
that was really funny, but it took me 2 minutes to get.
We'll edit the reaction
Straight
shorter.
in. Yeah. My dad kind of talked about her for a long time like she was really very fascinating. But then we met her.
Do you think she was good at being like mysterious?
I think she was like young and blonde. I don't mean to be rude.
Guys,
No,
people
but
love
it
to
is,
project.
it is funny when you meet people. There was a guy who kind of had slept with my aunts and done all sorts, and then
It's called an uncle, Rosie.
There's a name for that.
he'd been a real naughty guy, this guy. And when I met him, he was just like, you just go, oh, this is the guy who was breaking hearts. Or
Yeah, and you're like, what? Look at
Yeah.
you. It's so
It's
normal.
the blankest canvases make
Yeah.
the best
Truly.
because you can project whatever you want onto that shit.
yeah.
Yeah, and my mum was more projectable on than anyone because my mum didn't care about any men. All she cared about was having a cream cake with her friend Claire, and that is not a euphemism. That is all they did through university.
You're like, look at that woman over there
her and Claire.
just eating the cream cake.
Okay, this is
what
why-
is she thinking about?
Isn't it literally, you're like, wow, who could just be doing nothing all the time with the intensity of this woman? Also, she couldn't see and she didn't realize she was like completely blind. She did her driving test and that was the first time she realized you were meant to be able to read. They asked her to read the number plate in the car in front of her and she was like, don't be ridiculous. No one could do that.
Oh, amazing.
Wait, your mom said this?
My mum, that's when my mum
amazing.
realized she needed glasses. But she was like, her eyesight is so bad that she was like, when I was at university, she was like, I feel like I used to like, people thought I was really staring deeply into their eyes. But I was just trying to see their face.
Oh my god.
Oh, I love it.
This happens with foreign exchange students as well. They're like,
Yeah, they
oh my
can't
god.
say anything.
I can't understand anything they're saying.
Fascinating.
It's like when my first boyfriend used to masturbate to me reading recipes in Russian to him on the phone. He's like, I have no fucking idea what you're saying.
Okay, they met. They eventually locked it down. How old were they?
They got married when I think they got married when they were like 23, and then they had Ben and James when they were 25.
Oh my
Straight
god.
in.
Yeah.
That is early. That's young.
Yeah.
And where
But
do they
they're
live?
In Bath, but they're so happy. I mean, like, they're really in love
Still.
still. To the point, I mean, when I was growing up, you know, you obviously just think, oh, it's just my parents. But then people come around and they go, your parents are really in love.
Are they like kissing in front of you?
Well, like, they don't snog in front of me.
They just like each other.
They're just, yeah, they're very
Sorry,
affectionate.
can you tell that my parents hate each other? Do they kiss?
They're just, yeah,
That's so
they
sweet.
really love each other. It's really nice.
Are they from Bath?
No, my dad was from, I don't know. My mum was from Surrey.
All right.
Remember that? And my dad, I don't know. He went to boarding school in Shrewsbury.
Yeah.
Shrewsbury, I think.
I know this because I feel like I've gigged there.
Yeah.
Surely.
Probably.
Probably.
Yeah.
Non-zero chance. And what are their backgrounds? What are their families like?
So my mum's family is kind of fascinating. My grandfather on my mum's side was basically an aristocrat, and then my grandmother wasn't. She was from a kind of working class family, and who was very bright and got scholarships and ended up in the Wrens in the war, and that's where she met my grandfather.
What are Wrens?
They were like
the women's. Women's
shedding all my jewelry as I go.
Navy adjacent.
Yeah, they're.
My grandma was a Wren.
Yeah.
Navy adjacent. The women's bit of the Navy.
But they're like fighters or like nurses?
More on the nursey side.
Are they nurses?
I don't think they're literally nurses. I'm confused because my grandma was a nurse.
No, I think they're like. I don't think they're I don't even bloody know.
They were just like a women's.
I thought they were
Three
like
dumb bitches going.
I thought they were like army
I'm so
people.
sorry.
I thought they were like army people.
They are. They're wearing little army outfits
Yeah,
and
they
little
do
hats.
like army stuff.
Okay, but
That
in
bit
the
I
Navy.
know. I thought they were Navy.
Guys,
adjacent.
literally, I'm looking this up. This
The women's-
is it?
Yeah,
Is
please
it?
look it up. WREN.
So it's a bird.
Yes.
Wren Army.
Wrens. Yeah.
Women's Royal Naval Service.
you're
I knew
right.
it was Navy adjacent.
Okay,
Signed up and
so
knew that.
the women's branch of the UK Royal Navy formed in 1917, disbanded in 1919, revived in 39,
For the war.
remained
Yeah.
active, and then got integrated into the Royal Navy in 93.
So she would have been in the
Okay,
39.
so Wrens
Yeah.
included
Yeah.
cooks, clerks, wireless telegraphists, radar plotters, weapons analysts, range assessors, electricians, and air mechanics.
That's what I mean. They were clever ladies.
But crucially, no nurses.
No nurses. And then, and he was like aristocratic, and his family were bonkers. So I kind of want to do a show on my family, my mum's family, because they're so mad. So his dad, my great grandfather, was an MP. All right. Yeah.
Stop it.
Yeah, he was an MP.
Stop.
I think he was an independent. I thought he was. I think he was pretty right wing, but I think he was an independent MP.
Rosie, what he would think of you.
Hopefully, be really proud. But he was married to my great grandmother, and then he had a mistress, and he wanted to move her into the family home, and my great grandmother was like, "Fuck no." So as a
Obviously.
result, he got her committed to a mental institution.
No.
Because back then, he was rich. You could just do that. You could just pay a mental institution to take your wife off your hands and say, look,
Yeah.
she's being a right pain.
Oh my
She was in a
God.
mental institution for 7 years.
No.
Yeah. And until my grandfather broke her out, he kind of went to see her and said, I don't know why it took him 7 years, to be honest. But he went and said, oh, I'm just taking her out for a day trip.
He was like, I just wonder where
then-
mummy is.
Where's she gone?
Where's she gone?
But
Wait, that was his mum or his wife?
that was his mum. So 7
years?
Yeah, she was in there for 7 years.
Where was he? At boarding school?
I don't know how old he was, but he was. I mean, I don't know. I felt like he should have got her sooner, but
Was he young? He might have been young.
He might have been young, but yeah, he went and he got her out, and then as a result,
Wait, so he said he was taking her out for the day and then he just
didn't take her back.
Fuck yeah, that's
Yeah.
cool. That's badass behavior. This is her
Yeah.
son.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, my grandfather. And
We're,
then
we're
I
breaking
think-
out mom.
If I'm getting this all right, and then I think my great grandfather was so angry he like cut him out. He didn't give him any money.
So
and
did the
stuff.
mistress live in the house?
Yeah. Yeah, isn't it nuts?
We've replaced mom. That's crazy.
It's a really, really mad thing to do.
Do you
well,
know
apart from
what-
they were in boarding schools, they probably didn't have much to do with it.
What type of aristocrat he was? Were they like was there a house? Was there a land? Was there of something?
I don't know. I feel like I should know more about this.
This is very interesting. You should
yeah.
look
I
this
don't.
up.
I don't know
Is there a
if they've got.
Wikipedia
they've
page?
got land. Well, my grandfather then. So he had he got cut off with money, but then he managed to build a business, and he founded an. Securicor? You probably don't. Have you heard of Securicor?
What is Securicor?
Securicor
There
is
are
this,
clues in
like,
the name, I will
big
say.
security firm that's I think is particularly big kind of it was around all of the UK. So anyway, he was like the founder of that.
Huh.
So he had lots of money. But then
Good for him.
yeah, he had lots of money, which
So
was
he
great.
married a wren.
He married a wren, and apparently his family were all very snooty to her because she was working class, and they were like, "You're not an aristocrat." And
She is an aristocrat now. That's how marriage
that's
works.
how it works. And then they had 6 kids, of which my mum was one of them.
Oh, wow.
My mum's in the middle.
So is that why she wanted lots of kids herself? 'Cause she's like
Maybe, yeah,
used
maybe
to
she
that
just wanted
vibe.
to emulate it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then my poor grandfather, I never met him because he got killed in a hit and run.
Oh my God.
3 months before my mum and dad got married. Isn't that bad?
That's horrible.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm so
crazy.
sorry.
Yeah, that's okay. I'm
Like a random.
yeah, just a random guy. Yeah.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
Oh my God, what a heavy-hearted wedding as well after that.
I know. I was
3 months
going, Mum, I
later.
can't believe you went through it. And I think she just sort of felt like I think it was a kind of British thing that they felt they should. It sounds really,
Heavy.
really sad because my mum obviously like adored him. But yeah.
Once you
Did
put
your-
the deposit down there.
The cake
This
was
is another
bought.
thing. They like my dad always jokes that he thought he was marrying into money, but because he died, I don't think he hadn't made a will.
Also, split 6 ways. Come on.
And
What are we talking about here? It's like whenever like a K-pop band makes it big, you're like, all right, there's 12 of you.
I know. I do always.
This isn't gonna last too
Even
long.
it's like, look, when people are like,
not being one of a big family.
I know, you-
I was like,
there's
no
loads
one
of
has
you.
bought me a house.
you must. Do you have loads of cousins as well?
Yeah, I've got a lot of cousins.
There's nothing coming to you.
Absolute.
They
bag of
diluted the
shit.
hell out of that.
What's the point of
the
being
heirs to
into?
1/18 of the secure core empire.
It's true. What's the point of being into Brett's if you don't get any money?
Oh,
Yeah, that's
yeah.
like
So
when
whenever
you.
you start a music project, be sure that it's solo.
It's true. You must
Yeah.
be solo. I always feel like such a meanness in my heart when you hear about people and it's like, you know, older parents or whatever, and then it's like one of them has died, and then the other one's met someone else, and then just a little bit, I'm like. What does she want? What does she want? But it's because in my family, my mum's grandfather, my mum's grandmother died, and then he married a woman who was known as the Merry Widow of Hartlepool.
Yes!
Wow, the Merry Widow of Hartlepool. That's so great. I
great.
don't think there was any money in that family, but the thing she did do that is so horrendous. It's like so evil. It's like Roald Dahl villain. Is she took their family photos. Like how many photos they could have had? Not many. It was like a biscuit tin of photos, and she threw them on the fire.
Oh.
Yeah,
Oh my God.
isn't that the most
Oh,
evil thing
that's
you've
so
ever heard?
evil.
The Merry Widow of Hartlepool.
Not very merry thing to do.
I guess she was merrily being a vicious
Merrily
little
being
widow.
a bitch.
So your grandmother.
Yes.
Did you meet her? Did you have a
Yeah,
relationship
she was
with her?
really lovely. She was really lovely, but both my grannies got dementia when I was sort of about like sort of 8 or 9. So, but but yeah, she was really lovely. I always remember being really sweet. Yeah.
And what
She's
is your
nice.
relationship with your aunts and uncles on that side? 'Cause there's 5 of them, right?
Yes, good. I mean, they're all quite an interesting bunch. But like, I'm very grateful to love because a lot of them have put me up in times when I've had no money.
Yeah, that's what aunts and uncles are for.
So yeah, like my 2 of my aunts who live in London, they've both had me to stay there for quite
great.
significant chunks.
Okay, well that's why you have brothers.
That
and
is
sisters.
true. That is
Yeah.
why you have to have a London
that's
London
good.
relative.
London relatives, they're really good.
It's
I
really
recommend them.
exciting to have like an older person just feel entitled, like indebted to, not indebted. What is that word?
Interested in you.
Like feels like they have to put up with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not a parent, so they can't tell you what to do. It's a perfect blend of like they have a house, but they can't tell you how to live in it.
Did you have anyone here when you came to school who like knew your parents and would like check in on you?
There were like family friends, but not anyone to that extent.
Not like an
I can
eccentric
move
aunt in a tower.
No,
I feel like you should have had an eccentric aunt in a
Maybe
tower.
I can be that aunt. Okay, so your dad's side now.
Okay, so my dad's side is more modest. They were kind of middle class. And my dad has 2 sisters and a brother, and they're very nice. According to my mum, now my mum is known for being a bit fast and loose with the truth.
Good.
We love that. This is what we love here on Family Jewels.
She tells me she has always maintained that we are descended from the real Pocahontas.
Tell me.
What ground do we have, if any?
The problem
Present your case, your honour.
There is no because when I've asked her to go into this, she goes, "Well, no, we are," and you go, "Yeah, but Mum, how?" And then she'll say, "Well," she'll say something about like Native Americans, and that she doesn't have any. She's got no proof. She's got no connection.
Where did she get this from?
From like her aunt told her.
Well, didn't Pocahontas like get look, I don't know about the
Okay, well, I'm
consent of
Googling
it,
this.
but like stolen back or came to the West. And what was the John Smith?
Yeah,
It
she did.
doesn't-
She got married to John Smith and then died pretty much as soon as she got here.
Did she have kids though?
Well, we're about to
Maybe
find
she won't.
out.
Yeah, we'll have to find out. Otherwise, my mum's
Well, she
thing
didn't have
could
any
really
kids.
like...
That probably is the first problem, isn't it?
This is my mum.
I guess by marriage. My dad told me he thought we were related to William Shakespeare by marriage.
Oh my God.
I was like, okay.
No.
That's amazing.
My dad really scrabbling around for something.
I am related to Mary Queen of Scots. Well, her half-brother.
Stop
I'm related to
it!
her
Okay, wait a
half-brother.
second. Pocahontas and John Rolfe had a son, Thomas Rolfe, born in January 1615. Thomas and his wife, Jane Poythress, had a daughter, Jane Rolfe, who was born in Verena. Okay, so apparently maybe you're related to Thomas
maybe I'm
Rolfe?
related to some Rolfes. Well, actually, do you know what's something interesting about my dad's family? This is quite fun. This is sort of starts being awful, but then it goes quite funny.
Okay, that's a good one.
So sadly, my dad's family are descended from some rather big slave traders in Liverpool. Right. And so we were going, oh, great, we're related to slave traders. And then my dad at Christmas was really excited. He said, I've got some really wonderful news for you.
Oh, God.
And we said,
Oh, Lord.
and he said that although we're descended from slave traders, the slave trading family, one of the slave traders, or the slave trading family, had an affair with the chambermaid, and she got pregnant, so they sacked her because obviously that back in the day, that's what you did.
The men in your family have a history of really getting rid of women
Yeah,
in
this
quite
is
brutal ways.
That was my dad's side, thank you. So it's both sides of the family. And anyway, so she ran away to Wales, and she basically took the name Holt, even though she wasn't married to one of the slave traders. So
You're not actually that family
so
Holt.
we are that family Holt, but Dad said we didn't financially benefit from slavery in any way.
Yeah.
We were
Little
on a
wins,
line of
baby.
bastards.
Little wins.
He said we didn't financially benefit from it. So that's really good.
At Christmas, he gathered you round with the nieces and nephews.
Guess what?
Oh, my God.
This money isn't from slavery.
Wait, that's amazing. That really is a small win.
Oh, boy.
Okay, Mary, Queen of Scots.
Yeah, very good.
More on that, please.
More on that.
That's through that again. That's through my mum. So that was we're related to her half brother, and that is definite because I've seen the family tree.
Okay,
on
so
that.
Mary, Queen of Scots.
She had a half brother called James, I think.
So this generation, what are people up to?
My younger brother does sort of he does various human rights things with
Yeah, he's
Greenpeace
cool,
for
isn't he?
ages, and now he works for like an NGO kind of helping climate change protesters who get kind of in trouble with the law.
And he's really handsome.
So he does
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
good stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then
Can we do like a
obviously-
Family Jewels eligible bachelor sort of charity auction? Where we can bid on dates with various characters. So you could bid on a date with your brother, Helen Bauer's skeleton.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's a really nice game. Then there's me, obviously, who's much more impressive. And then my sister's an occupational therapist. The twins, one is a neurologist, and Ben is he's at the moment kind of starting up a business which kind of helps out kids, SEN kids in schools.
Everyone very
Lovely.
some
engaged
different
with
things.
other people.
Yeah.
Are they identical twins?
No, there's been a bit of contention about it because
Please?
not contention. Well, because
Well, they're either identical or...
well, that's
Oh,
what I
they're not
thought, right?
identical.
Yeah, because it's supposed to be. I always thought that if they're from the same egg, they're identical, and if they're separate,
They're fraternal.
They're from separate eggs. But then my aunt, who is an obstetrician, says that you can be identical even if you're in different eggs,
Because you just look the same.
and they do.
But isn't the
look-
DNA from two different eggs different? Am I making this up?
I have no idea.
Actually,
I guess it's like you have 100% of the same DNA.
I've never
anyway.
thought they were
Yeah.
identical. But people do get them confused. They've done a lot to make themselves look as different from each other as possible.
do they have like weird? Do they do weird twin shit? Like, do they speak a secret language?
No. Apparently, I think they did when they were really small,
Okay.
but they don't know.
Yeah, they're full adults now. With 16-year-old
Lame.
children.
40s.
Uninterested. I think we kind of.
But you do still call them the twins.
Yeah.
That's cute.
Are they
Sometimes.
close?
Yes, they are. I mean, they kind of like fall out a lot, but they are close. What's nice about them is they've both got a really similar sense of humour. So they both really make each other laugh, and they both really love playing like games, like kind of board games and things.
How retro.
Yeah, old school. So
interesting.
Did you tell us how your grandparents on your dad's side met?
They met. They got my grandmother. So he was like 15 years older than her, I think, or was he 10 years older than her? He was really good friends with her brother, and he and her brother went to war together, I think.
Oh,
yeah, I know, fun times, fun times. But yeah, I think they just fell in love and got married.
Oh, well, can't argue with that.
Why not?
It is something that happens, I hear.
Yeah.
So how old was he when he was at war?
It's pretty young, I think.
Yes, I'm thinking, how young is she?
You know what I mean? Don't do the maths too hard.
I mean, I think, he must have been maybe he was about 10 years younger than her. I'm not sure.
Wait, he was younger than her, or she?
No, sorry, she was younger than him.
I was like, that way's fine.
Yeah, she was younger than him.
Writing home to his 60-year-old sweetheart. And no one of us will die
It's
soon.
just a number.
How's your hip?
Someone was doing it. And their sadness matters too.
Oh boy. Do you know that there's still like loads and loads of like bomb shelters under London that are just...
I went down one in Clapham that was really cool. It was really huge.
Can you go and tour it?
Yeah, I did a tour. It was amazing.
Wow.
It was really massive, and there was like a lot of stuff still down there. Have you ever been to the Cabinet War Rooms?
No.
No, I'm really ashamed I haven't.
You should do that. That is,
Yeah.
you
Are
would
they
enjoy
cool?
that as a day out.
Oh,
The
no.
Cabinet War Room's really fun because it's still like set up. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like I went down. It was really cool, but it almost could become a shelter at any moment. But the Cabinet War Rooms is like, this is how it was, and there's like music, you know.
I
Also,
like a bit of music.
apparently one of the ones that is still around, I don't know if it is anymore, but it was for a while like a farm. So they were like doing greenhouses there and growing stuff in it because it's so big.
Yeah.
It's like they're so vast you can literally put a greenhouse in there. It's crazy.
That is nuts, isn't it? Particularly when like actually most people were like sitting down in the underground.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't that what? Do you remember about Millie Bobby Brown writing that book?
Yes! Oh my god! Yes!
Oh my god.
Bethnal Green Station, I believe.
That's about her grandma.
Gorgeous.
Did she write it on her own?
She didn't write a word of it. A full other woman
I think
wrote
her
the entire
grandmother
thing.
told her the story, and then she told a ghostwriter the story from her grandmother.
Yeah, she had the idea.
I feel bad because I know she's really young, but she's very irritating.
I think it's fine for you to find her irritating because she's so successful. She simply does not care.
I hope that she doesn't see this. I'm sorry, Millie Bobby Brown. If you do.
I would.
We're just jealous. We're just jealous.
We
Yeah,
are.
just
It is jealousy.
It is jealousy. It is. I can admit that.
We simply are just jealous.
I mean, it would surprise
Confident
me if
young
she was
woman.
She was like Rosie Holt MP for me. It's gonna swing it, but you are. It is a brilliant character. You're wonderful to watch. So maybe she's very engaged with politics.
If she is, I
Thanks
take
to
back
you.
everything.
She's married. She's
so
like,
Bon Jovi's
Yes.
son.
yeah, who seems cute. I saw a little bit of video of him. He seems nice.
I wish my job was Bon Jovi's son.
How many more of those Stranger Things are they going to make? Because those guys are like 28
There's one
now.
more series. It's the last series.
Are they still meant to be teenagers?
Yeah, that's where it's going to be a bit tricky. Because I mean, one of them's married now.
Well, they castrated all the boys so their voices wouldn't break.
That's so beautiful. That's dedication to the arts.
The oldest teenagers who've ever lived
Yes.
fighting these monsters. I actually don't know what happens
beautiful.
in Stranger Things anymore.
The stage show got 5 stars in The Guardian. Can you imagine?
Do you know what? I'd like to see that though. I bet it's really fun.
My brother said best like stagecraft effects you've ever seen in your
What I'm
life.
hearing
is
Mind
thin
blowing.
script.
Yeah. He was like the script beyond thin. Like
Yeah.
didn't spend a second on it. But the magic tricks, excellent.
See,
I'd
think
rather
that
go to
sounds
Magic Circle for
lovely.
that.
I know. It's giving. We've discussed this before, but have you seen Back to the Future, the musical?
Yes, I have.
So good, right?
It's fun, isn't it? I mean, this sort of
The car.
It's
The
car.
Guys,
The car is
the car.
amazing.
The car is
The
amazing.
songs are kind of rubbish,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and the script is kind of
Yeah.
rubbish.
But the car.
The car.
The car
They
is
pulled that
great.
car out. They were like, guys, we're going up in 2 weeks. And they were like, wait till you see this. And they got the car out and everyone was like, shit,
like-
man, that car.
Yeah,
That car is amazing. The bit where it goes up on the hydraulic arm and turns upside down and everyone cheers.
I feel like that in the theater was the closest we as a community were to the people who saw the first ever movie with the train coming towards them.
Yes.
Viewers, listeners may notice that Olga has vanished. She's disappeared. That's because the recorder ran out of space and then she had to go. So
She had to go.
bye, Olga. Now we'll talk about her behind her back. Anyway, Rosie, please, if you will, what was the little Rosie like? What were you up to when you were a child?
I was always making. I was a bit of a show off, and I was.
No.
It was a surprise.
In your family, are you the biggest show off?
No. Do you know what? Actually, socially, I think when we're all together, I'm more quiet.
That's interesting.
I think my sister and my brother, my younger brother, are probably the noisiest when we're all together. But which was funny because when we were little, Charlie was quite quiet, but that was partly because he had a hole in his heart.
Oh no! Is he okay now?
He is. He had an operation when he was very small, but he was quite quiet and he was very sweet. And
it wasn't about you saying to him, "You're only here to be my assistant,
here to keep me company,
to keep me humble."
But I used to, when my parents had friends round, I'd always like make him perform in plays with me.
I used to do plays.
I think I really feel sorry for my parents' friends though, because I think they were just unscripted, improvised.
So
rubbish.
bad to have to watch a child's play. Even my parents could never keep a straight face about a school play. They were nicer about like plays at home when I was younger, but they really, I think they would disagree with me if they heard me say this, but I strongly remember, I remember thinking it was reasonable.
Yeah.
That everyone was like, also I was never a very big part in any play.
Yeah.
So one of them, we did 6 characters in search of an author, and I had one line.
Do you remember what your line was?
I think I was just like, "She's ready," or something like that. And then so embarrassingly to my drama teacher at the end, I was like, I really stayed focused and I think I did a good job. And I even remember him like kind of laughing at me. But it was like, oh, everyone was like, my mum and my brother came, they were like so unhappy to be there. And then there's a brief moment at the end in this play. Sorry, spoiler alert for this Luigi Pirandello play. But like a child gets shot and then they like get left on the stage. Because it's all about like what's art and what's real life. Yeah. Anyway, this like child gets shot. And then there's like a big long silence. And then I hear technically my brother had the same number of lines as me in this play. Because I hear my brother in the audience go, "This is awkward." Really loudly in the gap.
That is not theatre etiquette.
He really stole my thunder. So you love putting on plays and you wanted to be a television presenter.
I wanted to be something. I didn't really know what. But then, yeah, I went on our like village youth club. The person who ran it was friends with Zoe Ball. He went to school with her.
So he says. Well, he was actually.
He was, because he then got us all to be awkward kids standing at the back of Live and Kicking.
Yes.
And then I remember saying to Zoe Ball, I was like, "How do you become a presenter? Do you go to drama school?" She was like, "Oh no," she was so nice.
What did she? Do you remember what she said? No,
I just remember
not advice.
No, not really. It's just nothing helpful.
Talk.
But I just think she was really nice. And that Jamie Theakston was a bit standoffish. But to be fair on Jamie Theakston, when I look back to it, I was a precocious 12-year-old.
And he was doing a lot of drugs?
He was doing a lot of drugs.
Was he? I don't know if Theakston was, but I can only assume. That's liable.
He was off his space.
Do you see, I often see Richard Bacon's name pop up because he runs a production company now.
And he writes fun stuff on Twitter, doesn't he, occasionally, yeah. Richard Bacon.
But like, wow.
Yeah, I remember when he was Snoopy's there.
I remember it from my childhood. That's highlight what cocaine was.
Yeah.
That is true. That is when I heard.
I think that's probably the first time I heard about cocaine.
Thanks, Richard Bacon.
You taught a whole generation of kids what cocaine was.
Look, and actually, what is more useful than that? That's very Blue Peter.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Rosie, I've loved having you on this podcast.
Thank you very
I know
much.
Olga has too, and she would say it if she hadn't had to run off.
Thank you, Olga.
Thank you, Olga. Do you have anything you would like to promote to our many listeners?
Yes, I've written a book.
Tell us about your book. Wait, give us the preamble, the summary.
Okay.
What's the bitch?
So it's called Why We Were Right by Rosie Holt MP.
Classic.
And it's going through all the scandals of the past few years by our Tory government, no longer. and explaining why actually they were really great things. So it's things like why we were right to party through lockdown.
Great.
So it's like a catalogue of conservative excuses written by my alter ego MP.
I'm amazed you wrote a book, and not because I thought you couldn't write a book. I just want to caveat it with that.
I can write.
I'm just amazed when anyone wrote a book.
Thank you. I'm really impressed with myself.
Did you enjoy writing it?
I really enjoyed writing about it. I was surprised about how much I enjoyed writing it, and I want to write another one. Yeah,
how exciting!
A bigger one.
Oh, that's the size is key.
What am I? Bigger one?
When you held this in your hand,
a bigger one again.
You thought too small,
like the Harry Potter books. Not like the Harry Potter.
They do get incrementally larger, do they? She really couldn't stop.
She did. By the end, she was like, "Fuck it, you can't edit me anymore." Bit like in life.
Yeah. Well, on that note,
okay, really, yeah.
Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you so much.
Where do people find you? What are your handles?
Rosie is a Holt on Twitter and Instagram.
Thank you, Rosie.
Thank you very much, Charlie.
Family Jewels is hosted by me, Charlie Lincoln, and Olga Koch, and the theme tune is by Ronan Shields. Bye.